Okay, so today I'm going to do a teardown of this Xiaomi Zink printer. So before I take this thing apart, I'm just going to show you some of the buttons and lights that is on the product itself. So on the back here, you can see that there's a USB charging port. Over here, there's an on-off button, and there's two lights. The light on the left is for Bluetooth, and the light on the right, the white color one is your charger light. Okay, and in the front where there is a slot for the photo to come out, there's also an indicator light just next to it. So yeah, so that's basically the external feature of this product. Okay, the only opening under normal operation is only this, where you are loading in this paper right over here. Okay, so that's basically that. Okay, so behind this cover, there's this little component here, which is like a spring mechanism. So there's made out of two tiny spring and a piece of plastic on a hinge. So this allows the paper to be pressed down when you are printing. Okay, so that's kind of the only moving parts that are inside this design. Okay, so what we have here is this rolling mechanism, and within this rolling mechanism, later you'll see that there's also the thermal heating unit. So this Z-ink paper works by projecting a small little pulses of heat onto the paper itself. The paper has got 3 or 4 layers of crystal coated element, and by the each of these are color responding to the different heat temperature or duration of the heat, give you different kind of colors. So the layout is quite simple. The paper is kind of placed on top here. This roller basically push the paper through and come out through the heating element and come out directly through the front here. There appears to be also a tiny little, either a sensor or a camera that kind of does the scanning of these smart sheets that attach to every piece, every pack of your printing paper. So from here, there are 2 screw points which you can unscrew and basically then kind of force open this case itself. Right, the case itself snap on, so you can see this little notch here and these little clips that are designed within the plastic component itself. So once you open up, you can see that on the inside there's a piece of a metal shield. I guess this is for preventing any kind of interference for the Bluetooth itself, if I'm not wrong. So over here, you can see that once open up, it's fairly simple. You have the kind of a roller and also the heating unit up here in the front. This is your circuit board that basically controls the printer, and this green color piece is your battery. The thermal and roller unit is actually attached by 4 screws with this 4 Bosch here that you can see. Underneath here, you can see that there's also kind of a connector. I think it's connecting to the LED that was previously shown for the front of where the slot are coming out from. Okay, so this is what is underneath. So from where it was, you can just disassemble this, and this is what you see on the bottom. You can see a little bit more of the roller mechanism over here. This is probably the heating unit. Okay, so once disassemble, basically you have one part. Actually, the second part is the circuit board, and the third part is the battery. I believe they are just glued down. I think it's just a double side tape that's gluing this battery down. Okay, so the critical thing that you need to know is the size of these few basic components. So let's have a quick measure. So this is the heating unit. I think they are all standard for all the Zink printer. So this is about 50 mm width. The length with the mounting is about almost 79, 80. Okay, and the thickness of this whole unit is about 17.5 or 18 mm. The battery itself is 30 by 48 and a thickness of about 18.5. And the PCB board, it's a bit of odd size, but the main bulk of it is about 40 by 71. It's fairly thin, but I think the thickest part is around here. So about 9 mm total height. Okay. Yeah, if you include this extension part, then the width will be about 72. Okay. So for your package, I think these are the critical dimensions that you need to be aware of. Okay. And of course, these are the ribbons connector that connect to the circuit over here. Okay. Yeah, I think that's about all you need to do. I think if you are keeping the paper and the flow fairly straightforward, that means the paper is kind of here, roll in and go through the heating element and coming out, then I think your layout is quite simple, right? But if you're considering a different kind of configuration, a different kind of layout for any other reason, then you need to think about how the paper is going to go through this slot, what other additional roller are necessary, and also how you're going to repackage this circuit board to fit your new body.